welcome to our video. We've got a transversal, right? This line right here, whatever it's called. It's a transversal because it's cutting across two parallel lines, two or more parallel lines, would make it a transversal. So M and L are parallel. They tell us that right in the intro of the problem. And here we've got a missing angle X. Now there are lots of rules and things we can prove about missing angles and angles that are formed from a transversal and parallel lines. But usually what I look for are just two things: corresponding angles and vertical angles, and that helps me with these problems. And I stick with these two because they seem to make the most sense to me. So for example, vertical angles, 72 is what we have. So that means that this angle, which is a vertical angle to 72, has to also be 72 degrees. And then I know that whatever angle X is, it has to equal this angle right here, because they're vertical angles, so that's also X. And then I can see what I need. Let me just change the color scheme here, angle X. You might notice that this angle, X, is the same thing as 72 degrees because they're corresponding angles. In other words, at the intersection where the parallel line meets the transversal, in both cases they're in the same position, right? There are four positions here. Let me use one more color in this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 positions. So this angle is in the same position as X. That means they're corresponding angles, which means they're equal. So this also equals 72 degrees, and since that's 72 degrees, so is this one right here. And in fact, once we had this angle, 72, from the start, that corresponds to X. So we could have stopped right there and said, well, if this is 72 degrees, this is also 72 degrees, they're vertical angles, and so this angle also has to be 72 degrees because it corresponds to this angle right here, just as this angle corresponds to this one. So all of the four angles that I've listed here are all 72 degrees, and all I used was the idea of that vertical angles and corresponding angles are equal. So here the choice would be B, 72 degrees. Alright, hope that helped.